All right, so we are getting into a new section of math here. We're going to be talking about triangles, angles, relationships, all sorts of good stuff like that. So let's jump right into it. If I have a triangle and it looks like this, let's say I know that on that triangle, well, first of all, I know this angle here is 90 degrees. Remember, anytime you have this little box here, that means I have a 90-degree angle. So I know that one's 90 degrees. I know that this angle here is 25 degrees, and this angle here is 65 degrees. Okay, so that's one triangle I have. 90 degrees, 65 degrees, and 25 degrees. And let's say another triangle I have looks like this. And here, I'll say I have an angle that is 70 degrees, 70 degrees, and what would that make this? 40 degrees. Okay, so there's another angle I have, or another triangle I have, 70 degrees, and 40 degrees. And let's say I have one final triangle that looks like this here, and this is 105 degrees, 45 degrees, and 30 degrees. Now, if I were to add up all of the angles in this triangle here, if I added up all the angles in this triangle here, how many degrees would the inside of this triangle be? Well, 70 plus 70 is 140, plus 40 is 180. This would be a total of 180 degrees. If I were to add up all the angles in this triangle here, what would I get? Well, 105 plus 45 is 150, plus 30 is 180. And then if I were to add up all the angles here, I would have 65 plus 25, which would be 90, plus 90, which would be 180. Every triangle that exists has to add up to 180 degrees. The inside angles, the interior angles of every triangle that exists will always add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so every time we have a triangle, it's going to be adding up to 180 degrees. That is called the triangle sum theorem. Triangle sum the triangle sum theorem says that every triangle, the measures of the three angles in a triangle equal 180 degrees. Triangle sum theorem. Yeah, that's hard to say fast. All the angles measure up to equal 180 degrees. So let's say I know I have a triangle that looks like this. And here is a measure of 55 degrees. Here is a measure of 80 degrees. And here is a measure of 2x plus 10 degrees. Whoa, what just happened? I threw you for a loop right there. But we can do this. So we know all this information. that exists on this triangle. And we also know, because of our theorem, we know that these three angles will all add together to equal what? 180. So we know that 80 plus 55 plus 2x plus 10 equals 180. Now, this looks like something we've seen before. Yes? We've seen something very similar to this in a multi-step equation. Whoa, look at that. We're bringing it back to what we talked about earlier. Multi-step equation. Now, let's solve for x to figure out what this angle will equal. So let's start by saying minus 80. This gives us 55 plus 2x plus 10 equals 100. Now let's minus 55. We get 2x plus 10 equals 45. It's minus 10. We get 2x equals 35. Let's divide by 2. Man, I don't know what's happening there. Divide by 2. We will get x equals 17 and a half. So we just found out our value of x. It equals 17 and a half. Now, what we do with this is we plug it into this angle over here. 2 times x plus 10. We plug x equals 17 and a half into this. So really it's 2 times 17.5 plus 10. Solve this out. 2 times 17.5 is 35, plus 10 is 45 degrees. So we know that the measure of this angle here is 45 degrees. And there we go. We solved that out. We solved out that measure, that missing measure, by plugging in our value. Okay, so if I took one that said, I have a triangle here, and I know that on my triangle here, it looks very similar to the triangle I just made, but on this triangle, this angle is 2x, this angle is 3x, and this angle is 4x. What are the measures of my angles? Well, I could say, okay, well, I know that 2x plus 3x plus 4x will equal 180 degrees. Now, if I have 2 x's, then I have 3 more x's, then I have 4 more x's, how many x's do I have? I have a total of 9x equals 180 degrees. And so if 9x is equal to 180 degrees, how many degrees is 1x? Yes, 1x is 20 degrees. And now I take this information here, and I'll plug it into all of my x's. And I'll get, this right here will become 2 times 20. This right here will become 3 times 20. This right here will become 4 times 20. And I'll get an angle measure of 40 degrees, 60 degrees, and, did my math wrong there, 80 degrees. 40 degrees, 60 degrees, and 80 degrees. And those are the measures of my angles. All right, let's try one for you to do on your own, and then we will be moving right along. Let's say my last triangle here is this right here. Here is 10 degrees. This is 3x degrees. And this is x plus 30 degrees. No, x plus 10 degrees. Yeah, we'll call it that. 10 degrees, 3x degrees, and x plus 10 degrees. What are the angles of my two unknown angles here? Have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow.